So Enzo Maresca had his pre-match press conference ahead of our game against Bournemouth at the Vitality Stadium tomorrow. This one was an interesting one, so let's check out some talking points. On the injury news, there's no new injuries, so it remains as is. Caicedo suspended, Dario Osogo is injured, Lavia is injured, and Colwell. On events from the Leeds game, and this one was quite interesting. In his press conference, Maresca said one regret that he had from that game was that he didn't play Joshua Chiampong. He admitted that the reason why he opted to go for Chalobah, Tosin, and Badiashile in the back line was to combat the aerial threat of Lucas Nmecha and Dominic Calvert-Lewin. And he admitted that even when he went with that in mind, it still didn't work because we lost most of our aerial duels. And with this, I understand the ability to take accountability because it didn't work, obviously. But my thing is, it's easy to say these things when hindsight is 2020, because most of us fans and everybody else was saying, why is he not going for Joshua Chiampong? But he rather put trust in a 28-year-old who's clearly incompetent. And to be honest, I understand the idea to try and match up with what they have up front because those two are aerial monsters. But you're pushing one of our most informed centre-backs out to right back so you can accommodate Tosin and Badiashile. Even with this admission of guilt, you're basically telling us that you were more worried about what they have to attack us versus what we have to combat whatever they're bringing us. So you rather play Tosin to match up with Calvert-Lewin, and it still backfired anyways because he'd let you down. But when Josh Chiampong was going up against Mateta from Palace, Awoniyi from Nottingham Forest, and Isak from Liverpool, who he came out on top on all three occasions, that wasn't enough to convince you that he can handle his own against these two players, Nmecha and Calvert-Lewin. On managing core players, he said that with the injury history that players such as Reece James, Romeo Lavia, Wesley Fofana he has to protect, he has to rotate, he has to leave them out of one or two matchday squads because even though we want to see them all the time, at the end of the day, for the betterment of their long-term prospects for the season, they have to come out given their injury history. On experience, and this one was quite eye-opening as well. So the journalist asked him, was the Leeds loss down to experience? And he basically said, whenever we lose games, it's so easy to run with the narrative that the reason why we lost this game was because of age. But when we beat Barcelona, when we fought valiantly to get a point with 10 men against Arsenal, nobody asked us that. Especially against PSG as well, nobody asked us that. But because we lost, it's so easy to say, oh, it's because they're young, hence why they lost. He mentioned Tosin as a very, very important point, that he's 28. That's experience. He's been in the Prem for a long time. He's the encapsulation of why we lost, because it wasn't down to age that we lost to Leeds. It was down to the fact that on the day, we weren't good enough. And Tosin was the embodiment of that. So that was some interesting talking points from Enzo Maresca in his press conference ahead of our game against Bournemouth at the Vitality Stadium tomorrow. As always, up the Chelsea.